Hey guys, it's Lawnmowers 14, and today I'm going to make a video on how to adjust the valve clearance on an older style Briggs 16 horse OHV single cylinder engine. This one here is a little hard to start. You got to get it past the compression stroke before the starter has enough power to turn it over, and it's not the battery. The battery is good. So let me get this camera flipped around here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do first, step by step. Next, we're going to remove the spark plug, and then we're going to use a 10 millimeter socket to remove the valve cover, and then we will put a little paper towel down here for any oil that may happen to leak out. And then you're also going to need a fueler gauge, and for me, everybody might do it a little bit different. For this engine here, the valve cover is removed. You're also going to want to get a screwdriver. I like to, like I said, take the spark plug out and stick the screwdriver in and spin the engine over by hand until the piston comes all the way out, otherwise known as top dead center. Some people like to do it in different ways. There's different ways to it. The point you're trying to get at is you want the valve you're adjusting to be completely open. As you can tell, this one here has a lot of play in it. That's definitely more than the clearance I specified, 0.3 to 0.5. See how easy this slides in there? I mean, you want a little bit of drag when you're adjusting these. You don't want them to be sliding super tight where they're twisting and this and that. You want just a little bit of drag in there. This one obviously has way too much play. Again, I am setting my intake valve at 0.03. You're also going to need a star bit. This one here is, what the hell is it? Number 15, T15 on a Craftsman 1/4-inch drive set. This is your hex bit. This is what you're gonna engine. The way you identify intake and exhaust valve, the intake valve, the push rod, which is these are push rods over here. The intake push rod is aluminum and the exhaust is steel. That's how I identify them. Now, on different engines, they may happen to be different, so don't always go by that. But on this engine here, single cylinder, that's how it is on this particular Briggs 16 horse IC engine. So we're going to start with the intake valve first. We're going to spin the engine over by hand until we're at top dead center, which we probably are. When you spin the engine over to top dead center, you're making sure that both of these are completely out. See how much play there is in both of these? That's top dead center. That's with the piston pushing the screwdriver all the way out until you rotate the top of the motor, and you can feel when the piston's going to go back in and when it's going to come back out. So you want the piston to be top dead center all the way out. We're going to start with the intake valve. Loosen this nut socket. This is a 10 millimeter again. We're going to loosen that nut. Prefer to use this side so you can leave this in here like that. Put my socket back on. Use the extender so you can see better. My hands aren't in the way. We're gonna put this as, you're just gonna have to figure out what size fit yours. It's obviously a star bit. Some of them aren't star bits, they're Allen key. We're gonna loosen that. We're just gonna loosen both of them because I said I was gonna start with the exhaust valve, or the intake valve first. So we're gonna loosen that. We're gonna get our fueler gauge. I have mine for 0.3. What we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen this nut. My bad. We're gonna loosen this nut like this. We're gonna loosen this middle nut here as well. Now we're gonna put this back on. The outside nut is the one that's gonna tighten the valve. This one right here. Going clockwise is going to tighten it. You see how it's lifting it up? That's going to tighten it. So we're going to stick our fueler gauge in here. Remember, we just want it to drag slightly. It's already almost getting there. It doesn't take much with these things. Like, that's too tight already. Right there. Like, right there is where we want it. Right about there. Right about there. You see how it's hard unless you're actually getting a feel for it. Now, we're gonna hold this nut here. We got the gauge where we want it. Okay? I'm not going to move this. I'm going to hold that there. Now I'm going to tighten this center nut here. I'm going to tighten this. I'm going to tighten that. Not super tight. That's going to lock that outer nut in. And you want to keep... Now, we're going to adjust the exhaust valve. The exhaust valve clearance, in my eyes, I always stick between 0.05 and 0.07. So, I'm always going to go with the lowest. So, we're going to go to 0.05 on this gauge. Here's, fuck is it? Right here is 0.05. So, we're going to stick it in there. This has not been adjusted yet. That is way too much free play. So, you're going to adjust that the same as you just did that. Loose. Oh, that's right, I loosened. We're going to loosen this nut. We're going to loosen the inside nut just a little bit. Remember, this outside nut is what's going to tighten the valve. The inside little nut locks it in until you get it right where you want it. Right there's perfect. We're going to lock it in. Spin it again. Check it again. That's a little tight, but I'm okay with that. Back on. Using our 10mm socket to tighten them. And we will put our spark plug back in. And we will see how she turns over. I got the parking brake on. I'm going to choke it. See how it runs. Runs great. Now I'm going to shut it off and I'm going to start it back up and show you how simple it turns over. See how easy it turns over? No trouble at all. Nice and quiet, not rattling. Awesome. Alright, well, that's how you adjust valves on a 16-horse single cylinder engine. Nice and quiet, simple, easy to do. This engine is good to go for a while. 50 hours oil change every season. Keep the valves adjusted. Change the oil is the best thing you can do. And your spark plug and your fuel filter. And they'll run like a top. So, that was a simple, easy fix. So if you guys have any more videos you want to send in, please feel free to send me video requests and I'll try to make more videos. I like to make easy, simple how-to videos on how to fix stuff. So if you guys could all like this video and subscribe, I would appreciate it. You guys have a good weekend and thanks for watching.